All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back, guys, to another PE live show. We're so excited and happy to be here with you all. We are on Facebook. We're over on Instagram and YouTube. We're so excited to be here with you guys for another live PE episode. For those of you who are new to us, PE stands for the Profitable Entrepreneur. My name is Ann Keeney, guys. I'm your host today. I'm also the founder of the Simplify the Scale. I'm really excited to be here, guys. Let's get us live everywhere here. We've got some amazing things to talk about today. We want to talk about how to attract an audience that can afford high end today. And that is our focus. And we're super excited. We have some good things to share with you guys. Say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in live. Let us know if you're on IG. Are you on Facebook? Are you finding us on YouTube? Say hello. Let us know you're here. Where are you tuning in from? I am just checking out the chat and saying hello, guys. Hey, everybody. Seeing lots of beautiful faces here on Facebook as well as Instagram. Hello, Karen. It's so good to have you. Hello, everyone. Okay. So today, guys, I want to talk about how to attract an audience that can afford high end. Okay, we're in all the beautiful places right now. I'm seeing lots of familiar faces, lots of new ones. Hello, everyone. It's good to have you here. If you're a replayer, say hello. Say hello. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We're so excited to be here. Okay, attracting an audience that can afford you. This has been the hottest topic in the Profitable Entrepreneur Society group this week. We have been talking about this. We have been sharing ideas around this and asking good questions. We have been talking about this all week in our Profitable Entrepreneur Society, right? Say hello as you join, guys. We're really happy to have you here. Back again live here with the PE Live Show. Hi, yes, good to have you. Okay, so how do you attract an audience, guys, that can afford high end? This is a big question, right? We get asked this often in our society group, as well as even with some of our clients, right? What can we be doing to attract an audience that can afford a high-end program or a course or offer, right? Really good questions. And guys, drop your questions as well. If you have questions on this, drop them below. We're going to answer them. We're going to answer live questions. The first thing that I want to share with you guys, I want to talk about a little bit is like, what is a high-end client? This is going to look different for you guys. It's going to look different for everybody. For me, specifically, a high-end client is someone who has a strong, abundant mindset. Okay. Some people, when they think about a high-end client, they think about someone who can afford a certain amount of money or they make a certain amount of money. For me, a high-end client really is about the mentality, right? It's about the mentality of the person. So I work with six-figure entrepreneurs, multiple six-figure entrepreneurs, but I work with a lot of newbies also, okay? And so the newbies have a very abundant mindset, meaning that they might be newer, they may not have as much in place, they might not be as far along their journey as maybe my multiple six or even six-figure entrepreneurs, but their mentality is there. Their commitment to their business is there. They know how to take action, even though they have fears and doubts and that uncertainty. They're very committed to this big goal that they have or this big mission, right? So I want you guys to kind of flip your mindset. Like, what do you, if you want to share, hi, Virginia, what do you feel is a high-end client for you? Do you guys look at the character? Do you look at the mindset, the mentality of your clients? Is it that you're looking at a certain income? Are they making a certain amount of revenue? Or are you looking for people that are willing to invest a certain amount of money? So a high-end client is not the same for all of you, right? It's not the same for all of us. We want a high-end client who's willing to invest, who's willing to push through uncertainty and fear and doubt. They're committed to something bigger than them. So they will invest, they will take action, they will move quickly and rapidly, right? To me, that's a high-end client. More than how much money are you making? How much money are you willing to invest? Because at the end of the day, I just want my clients to get results. And the only people that can get results are the people that move, take action, and are fully committed, right? So that's what I look for in a high-end client. That's what a high-end client means to me. And also someone that is responsible, right? They're responsible, they're resourceful. Hi, Stacy on Instagram. We in my company, we want clients who are very responsible, meaning that they're not making an investment with this intention that I'm going to get them results. They're not making this an investment in me. They're investing in themselves through me. And so they're very committed to getting a result with or without me, right? They're going to do this no matter what. I might just be able to help speed it along for them. And they're very committed. Like they get out of bed every day, they work, they know what they're doing each day, they know what to focus on, and they know how to take action through all the feels. That to me is a high-end client. Okay, I'd love to hear from you guys. What do you consider a high-end client for you? Like, who is this person? What do they look like? And what are the things that are important that you're looking for? I feel like the mindset and the characteristics of a human dictate if they invest or not. So for me, it's not so much about the money and the numbers. It is really about that mentality, right? It's really about the mentality. It's really, really, truly about their commitment to what they say they want, to their business, to their goals, whatever that is, right? So for me, that's what a high-end client means. Now I want to talk and shift a little bit. Into, okay, we have questions. Hi, Steph. I'm going to answer questions, guys. Keep them coming. Let's see. So here's what I want to say. So Steph says, I think it's someone who takes ownership of the problems they want to work on. Absolutely. Someone who is high end, they might not know exactly how they want to get where they want to go or how do they get where they want to go, but they know what they want, right? They know what they want, and they take the ownership of saying, I'm going to invest to get that help. I'm going to make an investment to get support on this. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to be resourceful. I'm going to do what I got to do, whatever I have to do to get what I want. Whatever that looks like, however that looks, right? That is a high-end client. Absolutely agree, Steph. I love that. I love that. And over on IG, guys, share what you feel is a high-end client for you. I think it's important to identify these things for yourself, right? Really good one, Steph. Let's see over on Instagram. Karen says, a growth mindset, committed to inner transformation, to get outer manifestation, willing to learn, and desire to be the change they want to see. Yes, all of that. Yes, yes, and yes, right? I think it is really, really important, right, that we are making sure that the people that we are trying to attract, that we know what they look like. We know who that is, right? If you're not really identifying what a high-end client is for you, how do you communicate that in your messaging, in your lives, in your content, right? So you want to really identify, what does a high-end client look like to you? What does a dream soul client look like to you? And then talk to that person. This is really important. It's one of the most important things. And you got to get your mindset behind that, right? You have to believe that those high-level entrepreneurs or clients are out there for you, right? That they would invest with you and work with you, okay? But you first need to identify who that is, okay? So I know a lot of people have come to me and said, I want to attract a high-end client that can invest this much money. So for you, it might be that they're making a certain amount of money or they're willing to invest a certain amount of money. For others, and similar to me, it's not so much about that as much as it is that mentality and that commitment and that responsibility. Because if they have that characteristic, that set of characteristics, if they have that mindset, the money is not even a question. Right? Lisa said, an action taker, committed to getting things done. Yes, yes, that matter and are willing to invest in themselves because they understand it's the fastest way to get there. Yes. Oh, yes. All of that, right? Someone who is high-end is going to be very committed, more committed to getting the outcome they want than all the fear and the feels, right? All the fear and the feels and the uncertainty that come with the process. Right? Because you have to take all those little steps to get to that big outcome, right? You have to have those little tiny growths and those small wins to get to the big one, right? So your journey to that big outcome is going to be, up and down and a little in and out and all over the place, right? So when you're bringing in clients, you want to attract the ones they're okay with getting through those small things. They will push through those small things. They will move and take action and they'll push through it. They'll show up. They'll be responsible. They'll invest to get that big outcome, that result, right? Beautiful. I love it. I agree with all of those things. Okay. So now, and everyone tuning in, just keep on posting and sharing so we can come back and comment and support you. I love to hear what you guys think about what a high-end client means to you and what that looks like. Let's shift gears just a little bit now, and let's talk about, I have 4 things specifically, and I'm looking everywhere, guys, because I am on YouTube, I'm on Instagram over here, hi Instagram, I'm on Facebook, YouTube, all over the place, and I'm trying to say hello to everybody. So we're here with you, we're listening, we're looking at comments coming through. Okay. So 4 things specifically I want to share with you guys is around how to start to attract that high-end client, that high-end audience for yourself, okay? The first thing I think is your mindset. We've talked about the mindset of your potential client, right? Of that high-end potential client. We talked about the mindset and how important that is. Equally important, guys, your mindset. Because if you don't believe that someone will invest a certain amount of money with you, if you don't believe that there's a certain level of a client out there for you, if you don't believe you're worthy of that, if you don't believe that you're able to get those types of clients, or if you feel like they won't invest or a certain amount with you, or that they won't take the actions or do the work, if you have any fear, doubt, feels, hesitancy, any of that going on, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, you attract a mirror of yourself. So the people that you're bringing into your audience and attracting, people you're having conversations with, the people you're speaking to, it's a reflection of your own mindset. It is a reflection of your own mindset. Somewhere in there, somewhere in here, okay, there is something off, or there is something out of alignment for you. There's a disconnect somewhere where you want that client. You want those awesome, dreamy clients. You want to be able to work with a certain type of person. But in the mind somewhere, you have doubt. You have fear. You have hesitation. You feel not worthy enough, or who am I to whatever, right? Who am I? I know that's one of the biggest things I used to have. Who am I to do this? Who am I to charge that much, right? So if you're having those types of thoughts and feels and hesitancy or resistance, it's going to be very challenging for you to attract a high-end client that has an abundant mindset, or has a confident mindset, or responsible, or an action-taking mindset, or a commitment mindset, an abundant mindset, because you don't have it, right? So you have to first get your mindset in order. You've got to believe it first. I always tell my clients, if you're trying to charge $5,000 for your program or your service, but you think $5,000 is a lot of money and you won't invest $5,000, chances of someone coming and investing in $5,000 with you is slim to none. Or if they do, you have to beg and convince and negotiate, and you got to get them there, right? You kind of have to do a lot of work and digging to get them there. They don't get there on their own, right? Or easily, okay? And so that means that that's a reflection of you, right? If you feel like you want to raise your prices, this is one of the very first things I do with my clients when they come into my program, is we restructure their programs to match their mindset and their goals. And then we have them increase their price. Okay. We have them increase their price. And one of the first things that comes up is a lot of resistance around raising their prices. They feel like, uh-oh, are people going to pay this? Like, do I need to explain why I'm raising my prices and why they're different from what they were before? I don't know if I have an audience that's going to pay that price, like stuff like that, right? You've got to understand that if you're trying to increase your price and you're trying to charge more, but yet you don't believe people are going to pay it, or you don't think that they're going to do it. I'm not super crazy, guys, about the Instagram here, but we're here, guys. If you have that resistance and that hesitation with what you think, your audience may or may not invest, then if you're trying to price, let's just use that number 5,000 again. Let's say you're trying to charge $5,000 for a program or course or service, right? And yet you really don't believe people in your audience can afford it. You don't think that they'll make that investment. You think they might be, maybe you have an idea that they're broke, or like they only invest in small stuff. Whatever your idea might be about your audience and that price, if it's not an energetic match, you're not going to sell it. You're going to have a hard time selling it. You're going to work 10 times harder than your competitor. You're going to work 10 times harder to get people to say yes because you don't even believe it. Your people are a mirror of you, of your mindset. So get your belief system in order. Now, that might mean you start where you're at. And I tell my profitable entrepreneurs this all the time. Start where you're at. Business is not about a race. It's not about get from start A to get from the start line to the finish line in X amount of time. There's no start, there's no end. Okay, everyone is on their own journey. This journey looks however you want it to look, and it looks different for everybody. So there's no rushing. It's a stair-step process, which is what I explain to my clients. Take one step at a time. Take those small steps, get those small wins, make those small mistakes. It all leads you to that big end outcome that you want. But if you're so stuck in paralyzation of overthinking and perfecting and trying to figure it all out first, you're not even going to get to the first step. Okay, so if you feel like this number here for you is too high, so then what price does feel good for you? Slightly scary, little stretched, but good, right? You believe it, you're behind it. That's where you want to begin. Okay, the other thing is you need to become a high-end client. It's kind of like, I'll use this analogy. I use this with my clients a lot too. It's like hiring a parenting coach to help you become a better parent. And that parenting coach doesn't have kids and has never had kids. It's kind of like hiring somebody who has no friggin' idea, right, of your situation because they haven't experienced it. They haven't been through it. So it's kind of like, how would you know that if you've never done that yourself? So again, we want to be in integrity. And if you don't want to feel like an imposter, don't be an imposter. Don't try to sell things or teach people things or help someone do something you have not done or contributed to in some way, shape, or form yourself. Okay, so you got to get clear on where you're at. If you're trying to teach people how to make $10,000, you've never made $10,000, you've never earned $10,000, and you've never helped somebody else do that, or maybe in a previous corporation company you've never contributed to that kind of money, then to tell other people you're going to help them do that, it's kind of an imposter, right? It's not actually something you've been able to do. If you're trying to help people with their mindset and you can't get through your own mindset and you can't get out of your own tracks and you're helping them with the same problem that you're having that you're not able to solve, kind of counterintuitive, right? You want to help people through the things you've been able to move through yourself, things you've been able to accomplish yourself, right? I'm going to tell you this when it comes to sales, guys. I'm going to tell you this. If you're getting objections and you're not able to work through them, it's probably because you haven't worked through those things yourself. You're getting the same objections that you give people, right? You're getting the same objections you give other people. And so because you haven't worked through it yet, you don't know how to guide somebody else through that yet. Again, it's like a parenting coach who's never had a child. They're not going to know how to tell you how to do certain things and how to get through certain things because they've never experienced it themselves. Let me know if this is making sense. So what I want you guys to do is be where you're at. I know you have a big vision. I know you have big missions, and I know you got big goals, and I know you want to have global massive impact, but you have to start where you're at to do that. You've got to be where you're at and start there and move your way up that ladder. Okay? It's not going to be, I'm here, I have big missions, let's do it. Let's go there tonight. Right? You've got to stair-step your way and work your way through all the things that all the rest of us have had to do. That hard work to get there. Okay? So mindset, you need to believe it first. You need to become a high-end client yourself. Okay? So whatever qualities that you see or that you want and desire in a high-end client, whatever that looks like for you, that's who I want you to start being yourself. Start being that person. Stacey said, yes, this makes so much sense. Perfect. Okay, good. So the other thing is to keep in mind, whatever you believe is what will be. Okay? It doesn't matter how many strategies people give you. It doesn't matter how many courses you download or free things that you take. At the end of the day, whatever you believe is what you're going to put out for an energy and an action step. If you don't believe someone will pay you $5,000, your messaging is going to reflect that you are not worthy of $5,000. You're going to lower your price. You're going to talk from a negative mindset. You're going to talk from an insecure place and an urgent place, not an abundant, I'm behind what I do and I know what I do and I know what I'm capable of and I can make a big impact. And oh my God, I know my clients are out there. That's a totally different mindset. Your messaging reflects your energy, right? It reflects your mindset, what you believe. Okay. And I'm going to say this right now. Mindset is not the only piece. It's just so important because it really is going to dictate the way you respond, the way you react, the way you show up, and what you talk about and how you talk about those things. Okay. The second thing, a high-end offer suite. Okay. You've got to have a high-end offer suite. It could be one offer, it can be 3 offers. But the point is, and I would start with one, if you're not making any income at this point, or if you're not making at least $10,000 a month, I would start with one offer and get the messaging around it down. Get your sales skill set freaking powerful. Get your things in place. Find your system. Find your way of helping clients get results before you try to add offers on. I think that's one of the biggest mistakes taught in this industry is buy this course on this and buy the course on that and buy the course on this. And you don't have the foundational pieces in place, right? So even though those things they're teaching you are phenomenal, probably, they're not going to work for you because you don't have the things in place that are required for those courses to work. Hence the reason many of you have taken courses after course and download after download and program after program, and yet you don't see a whole lot of progression in your business. It's because you're missing the foundational stuff. You're not starting where you're at. You're trying to skip steps and jump ahead, and you're trying to get to this place, not sure where that is, right? But you're trying to get somewhere really, really fast and you're skipping the important steps, okay? So you need to have a high-end offer suite. So that means that you need an offer that speaks and resonates with that high-end client that you just described, okay? So when you think about him or her, okay, that high-end client, which we talked about as step 1 that you need to figure out. You need to identify that. Okay. Once you do that, you need to stop and think about that person. Think about him or her and say, what type of offer, container, what type of experience, what type of outcome and transformation does that high-end client desire to have right now in their life? And then figure out what are you going to do with them to move them in that direction, to move them from where they're at to that thing they're saying that they want. Okay. So I don't want you guys to just throw together a random offer and throw it out there like everybody else. I want you to really think about the experience, the container, which means, is it one-on-one? Is it a group? Is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? The container, the type of offer in the container, and then what is that experience and transformation? And I'm going to say this, I say this all the time. I always use this analogy because it just makes so much sense. If you booked a flight to your favorite destination in the world, and that flight was wretched, it was awful, it was the worst experience you've ever had, you don't ever want to ever have that experience again. When you get to your destination, you are stressed out, you're exhausted, you're frustrated, you want your money back, you want a refund. You're like, I will never tell my friends about this. I will never book a flight with them again. And I'm never going to tell anyone to book a flight with them again. In fact, they're terrible. That's a bad experience. Your destination is gorgeous. And maybe you got there, but it was hell getting there. And now you don't ever want to do it again. Same thing with launching. We teach a 10-day or less organic launch system with my clients that create multiple 5 figures in 10 days or less organically. We do that because of my experience, hear my language, because of my experience with past launches. Meaning that the traditional way that most marketers teach you how to launch is exhausting, it sucks, it's not fun, and you never want to do it again. So for me, we understand as a company, we need to be launching. We know we have to be doing that, right? To grow and scale our business. So if we're going to launch, we're going to make it fun, right? So we changed how we launch so that we would do it, so that it would be fun and we'd have a good experience. And so that the people joining us for our launches would also have a good experience. that experience that you give your clients to that transformation is equally important as the transformation. Does that make sense to you guys? Because my God, if they have a bad experience, even if they get the outcome, they don't ever want to work with you again because it was so bad, or they don't ever want to implement the strategy you taught them because it was hell. That's not going to be helpful for you, right? Then they don't want to give you a testimonial. They don't want to tell their friends and refer people to you. They don't want to renew to work with you anymore because they're like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to do that. I don't like the experience. Okay? So when you're crafting an offer, this is something I've been working on this week with my clients, is helping them create their offer suite for high-end clients, right? And whatever that looks like for them. So it's really about you figuring out, what is the experience a high-end client wants to have? And what's the container, the time and the space, the type of offer? And what is that beautiful transformation? And then you can identify the steps you're going to take them through, your system, your methodology, your process. You should know your process if it's something you've already done for yourself. I'll give you an example. Over 20 years ago when I started this business, I started on my entrepreneur journey. After 10 years of having a VA agency, I switched into coaching and I shut that business down. When I started coaching, the first thing I did was go out. I got 5 one-on-one coaching clients. I ran them through my program, my 3-month one-on-one coaching. I ran through a set of systems. It was wonky. It was really wonky. It was all over the place. So I signed on 5 more, ran them through it, tweaked it, made it better. And I kept doing that for a couple of years until that one-on-one was so solid that I could literally be like, boom, 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 take them through 3 to 5 steps, and boom, they got their transformation. I worked that system until it was perfected. Then I was able to turn around, increase my prices, and then later turn it into what is today my 12-month profitable entrepreneur program, right? But here's the thing. What you want to be thinking about, right, is you want to think about the experience, and you're going to have to run some clients through that a little bit to get them there, right? So you want to work with some clients, run them through your system, figure it out as you go, right? Because you might map out a little system, and then once you start working with your clients, they're going to flip that system on its head and have you doing something totally different so that they get the result, right? That's what might happen. And that's why you just improve it. You keep improving it, you keep tweaking it, you make it better. And then you enroll some more clients, right? And enroll some more, and you keep doing that, and you do that. Okay. And that was what I did in my coaching business when I first started. Was I just focused on getting people in the door and like running them through what I thought was a pretty good system. And then once I had my 5 clients, I started to turn around and say, listen, I can help you get your first 5 coaching clients. And that's what I did. That's what I taught for many years, because I did it myself for a while and I perfected the system. I knew my exact steps every single day. I knew how long it would take to get 5 clients. I knew exactly what steps to take. I knew all the things because I had done it for so long, so many times, consistently. Some of you guys are so up and down all over the place, you don't do anything long enough to get a system in place. But here's the thing. If you are helping people with some sort of transformation or outcome, you should know the process to get there because you've done it, or you've helped somebody do it, or you've contributed. So you know the process. If you come to me and say, I don't know the steps, I don't know how to get a client there, then you shouldn't be selling that. You should be selling what you know how to do, what you've done yourself or contributed to. And that's how you create a system. When I started selling my one-on-one coaching package for $5,000 and said, hey, I can help you get your first 5 coaching clients, I was behind the price and behind my system and my offer because I had done it myself over and over and over and over and over. And I saw my clients doing it. So I knew that I had a system in place that was proven and that worked, that I could go teach others and they could do it too. And I knew how to do it and navigate them through all the stuff because I'd been through it. I wasn't teaching them something that I learned in a free PDF or a download. I wasn't copying what another coach was doing. I had done it. I did it for myself. And so I knew how to work them through all the little things that came up along the way because I'd been there and done it myself and I'd been through it. I had perfected that system over years of time. Okay. Does that make total sense, guys? I hope that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm going to answer questions too in a hot second. Okay. Definitely that makes sense. Yeah, the mindset and the mirror thing makes total sense. Yep, perfect. Okay. Yeah, because you have to remember, right? You have to remember that um, it's going to be hard for you to not only sell and talk about and to attract a high end client, but it's going to be really hard for you to actually get a client results, not get them like it's your job, but to walk them through a set of systems or methodologies if you've never done it yourself, right? Okay, so you want to have that offer and just focus on one offer. One offer. Be where you're at. If you're not making $10,000 a month right now, start with a one-on-one offer. It's the easiest, fastest thing to sell. You do not need an audience. You do not need an email list. You don't need a website. You don't need a sales page. You don't need any technology. You need to know how to communicate and talk about that offer and then go sell it. Get in conversations and sell it. And then run people through it until it is a proven system. Then you scale. You can't scale something you don't have. You can't scale in your business when you don't even have a system in place that works yet, or you can't scale nothing. You need something to scale. A lot of clients, because what I focus on is scaling. It's what we do. We have the simplify the scale method. Everything we do is about scaling. It's about profitability and scaling, simplifying the scale. It's what we do. However, a lot of people that come to us are like, yeah, I just started my business yesterday and I want to scale. Scale in is taking something you've already done that's working and it's perfected and multiplying it. Okay? So you can't scale something that you don't have or that you've never done. We have to do it first. Okay, and the third thing, premium content. It is going to be important that your content, your messaging, the things that you're saying, the things you're talking about, that they align with that offer and that price and that high-end client that you've created in your mind. If you want to work with high-end clients, here's a tip. And this is coming from a high-end client because I am a high-end client. I'm a high-end client. I'm also a high-end investor. Okay, so I am a consumer as much as I am a coach. And what I know is when I see struggle bus, lack, negative, drama, things like that, newbie type stuff, I scroll right past it. So depending on what a high-end client looks like to you, you might have to pivot your messaging. You might need to start talking about what you do a little differently, how you help people a little differently, and the outcome that they could have, right? You might need to shift some of your words and your language in order to really speak to a high-end client. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to go and change your business model, your niche, your target market. It doesn't mean you have to change your offer or your brand. You don't need to go crazy like that. But you might need to pivot your messaging because the way, if you go look at your Facebook or your Instagram right now, or your YouTube channel, or wherever you're tuning into this live, if you go and you look at the last 6 things that you've posted on any of those platforms, and you ask yourself, would this speak to a high-end client? Would this stop his or her scroll and get their attention? Would it speak to them? Because if the answer is no, guys, you need to pivot your messaging. Okay? If you look at it and you're like, oh, heck yeah, totally would, then great. Put more of that content out there, right? But a high-end client, guys, they're not about the problem. They're not about the struggle. They're not about the lack. They want results. They want transformation. They want abundance. And their mindset matches that. So they're very protective of their energy. Right? A high-end client is protective of their energy. They don't want to focus on negative. They don't want to focus on the struggle. They want to focus on solution, right? So they just want solutions to the problems. They don't want to talk anymore about the problems. They don't want to focus on the problem. They don't want to scroll and read your books and novels about the problems. They want to get to the outcome. They need the solution. So your messaging should be speaking in a positive way about that solution, okay? Make sense? And then the fourth and final thing, you should have a nice, strong, buttoned up qualification process in place. Okay? I know a lot of you will come to me and you're like, oh my God, I'm spending hours a day on sales calls that are going nowhere. They're full of objections. They're full of excuses. People don't have the time right now. I'm getting all of this stuff. I'm not hearing yes. Right? Now, everything we talked about today could be part of why you're not hearing yes. But the other thing too is you should have a qualification process in place for how you are screening people that you're adding as a friend, that you're letting into your Facebook group, that you're allowing on your email list, that you're getting in the DMs with, that are booking consultation calls with you. There should be a process and a qualification set of steps in place so that your time and your energy is protected. Time is our greatest asset, and it's a very limited thing, and we only have so much of it, right? How you use it is what counts. It's not so much about, let me check all these boxes and get 500 things done today so I can say that I did all the things today. It's not what it's about. It's about, what did you get done today? Not how much. What did you get done? Did you get the important things done today? Or are you just kind of going all over the place and you're just checking boxes and ticking off these things, to-do list, right? It's about where you put your time. And if your time is going to the wrong people, and if your time is getting on sessions and consultations with people who have no business taking your time, have no interest in investing, are not interested in buying, and they want to pick your brain and get more free stuff, that is a lack of a qualification process. I have not done a single sales call in over 3 years, guys. Every sale I close, well, most of it is done by my team because I hired team to do that. But if I do any sales, it is in the DM, or my content does the selling for me, where people will DM me and say, listen, I got to work with you. I've been binging on all your stuff. I've been watching your things and I need to work with you. How do I do that? I have about 80% of that happening. And then the other 20% is my team closing sales in the DMs. We don't even need to get on sales consultations because my content does the selling for me. When people come to us, they just have a few questions, or they want to know, well, how can I work with you? They're not coming to me with, oh, I'd love to, but I don't have money. We don't attract that type of thing into sales conversations with us. We don't attract that mindset. We move those people back to our content and continue to educate them, because we're not convincing anybody of anything. I will not convince, I will not beg, I will not negotiate. And it's not my job to get you to a place of saying, I'm ready to do this. I'm going to do this, right? So if you have people getting on the phone with you or getting in the messenger with you or reaching out to you saying, I don't know if I can do it. Do you think I can do it? Tell me I can do this. Are you going to help me do this? Are you going to make this happen? If I make this investment, how quickly can you help me make money? I'm going to encourage you to not sign those people on right now as clients. They're not ready. An empowered, abundant, high-end client is not asking things. They're not saying stuff like that. They're not expecting you to do that. They're already there themselves, right? There isn't a difference. And this is why at the very beginning of this live session today, I mentioned how important the mindset is in the mentality of a high-end client for us. And this is why it's so important. You can have a client who makes $1 million a year and has a terrible mindset, right? You could have someone who makes only $1,000 a year and is like, let's do this. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm ready to go. Sign me up, right? It's not about the money. It's about their mentality. And your mentality attracts that person or not. Those high mentality, high-end clients do not just come to you because you're awesome. There's 1 billion people on the internet who are awesome, who have been here a long time, have a lot of testimonials and proof, and do great work in the world. Why are they going to choose you over that person, right? Your mindset is why they're going to choose you, because you believe they would choose you, because you believe you're worthy of it, and because you know the value of your work. That's why they would invest in you. So a lot of you guys, a lot of entrepreneurs are spending their time and energy on the wrong things. You're thinking about the wrong things. You're asking the wrong questions. You're worrying about the wrong things that don't matter. Oh, how many images should I create today? How much content should I put out? Which platform is the best one to be on? What strategy works the fastest? What way is going to get me the 5K quickly or the 10K or whatever? You guys, should I have a website? What platform should I use? How many systems should I set up? You guys are worried about the wrong things. And that's why no matter how much effort you put out, you do not see the reward coming in because you're not focused on the right things, right? If you want high-end clients, guys, you've got to focus on the right stuff, and you've got to get your mindset in order. If you don't invest, and there's nothing wrong with this, we've all been there. I did not invest for 5 years, and I was stuck for 5 years because I refused to invest, and I was not going to take the risk, and I was not going to get the help. So for 5 years, I did the same thing over and over and over and over and over, expecting a different result. I downloaded every free thing I could. I watched every Facebook Live from everybody. I learned everything about all the business things. I was in information overload, and I was constantly switching up and doing different things. My whole life was educating myself. And somehow I thought the more I learn and the more that I know and the more downloads that I get and the more webinars I participate in and the more emails I sign up for, and all this stuff, the more that I do that, eventually something's going to click and I'm going to hit that success. For 5 years, we lost our home. We ended up on food stamps. We were living in the state. It wasn't working. So finally, I had my breaking point where I was on the verge of losing my marriage, right? So I had to make a decision, not an emotional decision, but a livelihood decision. And so I decided, fine, I'm going to make this investment in this coach who seems like she can help me, and something has to change. And that coach helped me double, almost triple my income in 30 days. I had spent 5 years and couldn't do it, right? 30 days. I implemented what she said. I did everything she told me to do, and that's what happened. And so the point and why I'm sharing that, guys, is because I'm letting you know that if you are someone who does not invest, if you are someone who takes a back seat when you get scared, if you are someone who backs down when the going gets tough, if you are somebody who's like, I'm going to try to figure it out myself, I'm going to do this first, or if you're someone who says, now's not a good time, I'm busy, now's not a good time, life is crazy, now's not a good time, I've got kids home. Like, if you are a person who makes a lot of excuses, if you are someone who plays really safe and you play really small and you're waiting for everything to be perfect first, I'm just going to tell you that you're going to attract those people also. Okay? I was not able to even charge more money until I started investing more, because then I believed, right? I was not able to get anyone to pay me $1,000 because I wasn't invested $1,000. I thought $1,000 was a lot of money back then, right? So I was like, oh my God, nobody's going to pay that. And nobody did, right? So again, your whatever it is that you believe is what it will be. Okay? Any questions? Let me see. Stacy said, so do you speak to their pain point too? I typically don't speak a whole lot about the pain. I like to speak from what my clients have already accomplished, what they're already doing, the effort that they're already trying to make. And then I like to talk about where they want to go next. I do, in terms of maybe some of the pain points, I might mingle in. I don't do like a bullet list of their pain, but I might say something like, listen, I get it, right? You're doing all the things and you want to reap the reward. So that means, that statement right there means their pain would be, I'm doing all the things, I'm not seeing any ROI from it, but I'm not going to go down like a bullet list of their problems because it's negative. And high-end clients they know what their problems are, right? Like a high-end professional CEO, business owner, they know what their problems are. What they don't know is how to solve them. So for me, I attract high-end clients, right? And when I'm speaking to a high-end client, I don't need to tell them their problems and pain because they already know it. It's the stuff that keeps them up all night, right? It's the things that they're trying to figure out. They know all that. What they want to know is, Anne, how do I solve this, right? I don't care. I know that I'm not doing this and I know that this isn't working. I already know that, right? So speaking as a high-end client, because I'm a high-end client, speaking as a high-end client, I don't hire and invest in coaches because they talked about my problems. I already know my problems. This is the stuff that keeps me up at night. I don't need anyone to talk about it and tell me about it. I already know. My thing is, how do I solve it? And so I invest in the people who are talking about those solutions not focusing on the problem. I'm not a problem-focused person who focuses on the problem. I'm a solution seeker. I'm not a problem solver. I'm a solution seeker. We have an issue, solve it right now, quickly. What is our next step? I'm not about, all these problems. And that's another thing I think with entrepreneurs. You guys focus so much on what's not working and you focus so much on the problem that you wouldn't see the solution if it smacked you in the face. I was there also for a very long time. I had the same problems for 5 years in my business. And the solutions were in front of me every day in a million different ways. But I couldn't see them because I couldn't get my head out of my butt long enough to look at the solution. I was so focused on the problem. 90% of you guys, you're so focused on the problem that if the solution hit you right in the face, you wouldn't be able to see it. Because you're not looking for a solution. You're focusing on the problem. High-end clients are solution seekers. They're not looking for problem solving. They don't even want to talk about the problem. They don't want to think about it. They want it gone. They want to focus on solution. So you need to show up solving that solution. This is what I talk about all the time. It's part of my Simplify the Scale method. Simplifying is focusing on serving and solving problems. Quickly, simply. Just get to it. That's what people want. We're not investing in problems. We're investing in solutions to the problems that are bugging the crap out of us and keeping us up all night. Does that make sense? So no, I don't typically focus on the problem. Let me just peek here. I'm looking everywhere, guys, so bear with me. I'm on a lot of different channels. How do I go live in multiple groups at once? We use StreamYard. Okay. Okay, yeah, for sure. Lots of little questions here. All right, any other questions, guys? Listen, if you are, depend on where you're tuning into this, we go live every single Wednesday, guys, with a new episode for you. And we're always polling you guys and getting in the DMs and having conversations with you guys. We are connecting with you and communicating with you to learn what solutions you are looking for. How can we serve you? How can we help you? How can we solve problems? And so definitely make sure that you're connecting with us. If you're not in our society group, pop over to our free Facebook group, over to the Profitable Entrepreneur Society. Hit us up on Instagram, _Ann_Keeney. Come connect with us, guys. We're sharing lots of great stuff. We'd love to keep the conversation going, and we will over in the society. Yes, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. All right, guys, I hope this was super helpful. I cannot wait to see you guys on next week's episode. I hope to see you in our society. We'll talk soon. All right, bye, guys.